I'll call the meeting to order. We'll do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We go. What is your motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
Make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda on Monday, December 11th.
And I will second that.
Any comments or questions by the board? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Approval of minutes of 11/27/23 and 12/04/23 special budget meeting. We hear a motion to approve those minutes of those two meetings.
I would make a motion to approve both those minutes of meetings.
Second.
Any comments or questions on any of the minutes of those meetings by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. On to the road report.
He's running late.
Yep, that's all right. We'll keep going.
Okay.
We'll go right down to community development.
So the past couple of weeks, I have three of them. The past couple of weeks, I've been working on the VORC application with Nicole at the Coast Point Country Store. It's due this Friday at midnight. It's coming along really well. There's been a lot of local support from partners, just getting some estimates from local businesses. The library's been in touch about the kayak rentals, and I've also talked to Ruben out at the state park about the project, and everyone is in favor of it. Excited. I do want the board to know that the estimate for the hydro raking came back in a lot higher than we anticipated.
It's meant for the
Hydro raking of the channel, which is the main point of the project to allow access through the Halls Bay channel. We thought it would be in the range of $30,000, and it came in today at $85,000. So it's still, worth pursuing because the minimum for the grant is $50,000, but it's a pretty big leap. So I just wanted everyone to know that.
What's the maximum?
What's that?
What's the maximum available?
There is no maximum on the grant. The total amount of funds available are $6 million for the whole state. But I do think it will be a very competitive grant application. So.
Will you put that in there that it was 80 to do it just to see? Or?
Sorry, I need to include the estimates in the grant application.
No.
Very well. Yep. So the next thing is the Municipal Energy Resilience Program assessments for the town-owned buildings. Those are taking place next Monday. So they will be visiting the town office, Stonebridge, the senior center, and the town garage. And we've got some help lined up between Paul, Joel, Alan, and Jeff and I to oversee those assessments. So next Monday. And then the other thing that I wanted to tell the board is that I have been doing some outreach for housing development in 2024. I've scheduled a meeting with the Housing Trust of Rutland County to take place in January for preliminary meeting on a potential new project, if there is one in Poultney. There could be one. And the Rutland Regional Planning Commission has been in touch about a new program they are forwarding in 2024 for a housing resource navigator, which will be overseen by Logan at the RRPC. So just kind of getting into that work a little more deeply and reviewing those opportunities, but no action's been taken yet.
housing, what are they looking at?
So it's essentially, my outreach to the Housing Trust was to identify potential buildings that could be turned into a housing project if they have the capacity to take on a new housing project in the Poultney.
Low income housing?
Probably subsidized. So the Housing Resource Navigator position is not about that. It's a variety of housing development types. And I think the idea there is that the first thing the RPC would do is identify locations where housing infill could go in Poultney. So it would be sort of a land use analysis as a first point. And then that program is evolving to, include outreach to developers potentially later in the year. and permitting assistance if possible. So a lot of the work that I am hoping to do also here, specifically for Poultney.
Just a,
Sorry.
just a second.
Let's music.
That makes it a little more
Your
interesting.
face was priceless. I have to tell you.
It completely shocked me.
It's cold out. Your ears are red now.
So that's it for my update, really quick this week.
How are we doing with merger?
So the decisions haven't been made on the municipal planning grant applications. I think they were anticipated sometime in December. So we should know soon whether or not we received that grant.
Okay, that's to study the merger.
That is to hire a consultant to assist the select board and the village to study merger jointly.
And how much would that be for?
That application, I think, was around $13,000.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Sarah?
Thank you, Sarah.
Read sections.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, the assessor asked me to squeeze her into the agenda.
Oh, Mary Jo?
Yeah,
Oh,
under other lawful business, but I know she, I'd like to have the board listen to her for her matter so that she can leave.
Sure. Yep. Sarah, you're done, correct?
I'm
Do
done.
you want me to explain, Mary Jo, or do you want to?
What do you got, Mary Jo?
I've got an errors and omissions.
Errors and omissions?
Got to be done by the end of the month.
Okay.
So it's for the church building next door, which was sold from the Albany Presbytery to the Poultney Welch Preservation Alliance and Presbyterian Fellowship, which was an error on their property return. Church, the word church was supposed to be in there. That doesn't really matter. At any rate, when it sold, they were asked to submit materials so that we could see whether they were still under the any exemptions, any statutory exemption.
The church is under any exemption.
So I never received any materials. They had several notices. At any rate, they were taken off the exemption. So they were taxable property. So as soon as they got their tax bill, there was, they weren't very happy. And I did eventually receive their material. I told them that if they could bring stuff to me before the end of December, I could put it in as an error submission. And we had an attorney review it. It's not under a church exemption anymore. It's a nonprofit, because they have dissolution agreements and all this, it still would fall under a statutory exemption. So it was off the tax rolls. It was on the tax rolls. They got a bill. Now I'm asking for it to be put back off the tax rolls until further notice. So
Did they pay the bill, Mary Jo?
I think they paid a quarter. You're going to have to refund if,
Okay.
refund a quarter of their tax. I'm not actually sure exactly what they paid, but they
You
paid.
did say something, but I don't know. I think it was just the first quarter.
I think it was the first quarter.
Okay, so that would have to be refunded if we approved of errors.
And it's not really a decision to be made. It's more informational. They do follow under a statute. Did have an attorney review it so that it's confirmed. It's a $218,800 assessment. So whatever the taxes are on that is what will be coming off your tax rolls. So
So do you need a motion from the board, or?
well,
Or is that just informational?
it's you've got to sign the order. The order has got to be, and Paul has the signature page. I didn't grab this.
I've got it here.
Paul's got it there. It will be attached to the grand list,
Okay.
like an amendment.
Yep, okay.
So when I file the final grand list for the year, later in the month, or whenever it's due, beginning of January, whatever, it will be attached to the grand list as part of that.
Now, this doesn't have to go to the BCA.
No, it does not.
Okay, good. So we can just sign this right here,
Yes,
and it's just simply
On the right-hand
errors
side
and
there.
omissions.
correct.
Is it very, does that change if they're not utilized as a church anymore, or does it not even matter?
No, it does matter. It does matter what it's being used for. They do use it, for the, eight or 10 people who belong. See, they're not, the way it came about is when the diocese sold the church, it was no longer part of the diocese. And the church suggested that they become a fellowship, but they're not listed under the diocese as a fellowship. So there were just a lot of questions, and they really didn't give me the information I needed. So anyway, I delved into it, and then eventually I did get some information from them. So between both things, it was, I kind of thought it was on the fence, but the attorney confirmed that they would still be under statute as exempt because they're what's it called? It's not dissolution, it's called
What is
anyway, if they dissolve, they have to sell to another nonprofit. They can't just like put it up for sale and take the money. It has to go, it would have to go to court. It would have to go to probate or whatever.
Oh,
So it's more complicated. It's not like they're just a 503C.
yeah,
Because that doesn't automatically make you exempt. You have to fall under some pretty strict statutory requirements. So even though they're technically not a church, they're still under the statutory requirement that gives them that exemption.
that status of tax exemption.
Yes.
Good. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Would imagine
Local
that
complications.
would be a little bit.
I can just give that to you.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I understand.
Thank you, Mary Jo.
Thank you.
Okay, we can go back to the road report.
Okay,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, very good.
Wow.
Here too.
Yeah, Vicky's here too.
Got a good sign.
Coffee in here.
So I like to leave off on a good note, so I'm gonna go right to the bad news. The bad news is truck 2 is in Westminster. We had to drive it over during the storm today. Radiator blew out, so that's gonna set us back a couple grand. We were able to get it there safely without any issues though, so we'll get that squared away and we should have it back tomorrow or the following morning.
Is that something they fixed already?
They fixed the radiator hose.
Now it's the radiator.
Now the radiator itself. Yeah, just a few inches away from the problem they found apparently. So it wasn't something we could do here. You have to pull the whole hood off the truck and then pull the whole radiator out of it. It's not like your car or pickup truck radiator. It's huge. So
That explains the antifreeze loader.
yeah, it sure does. Doesn't it?
And you have to go pick it up as well?
We'll have to go pick it up as well. Yeah. And
Oh, is that truck?
it's a 2014.
Okay, that's the 2014 we got from Ludlow.
Nope, that's the 2014 Western Star that we had bought in 2014.
Okay,
And then Dick's truck 7, has some broken bolts in the brake housing. S-cam housing. That he came back. You can explain that better. I'm not a mechanic by any means, so
And the bolt sheared off, so it locked your brake up, so the brake got hot. But I got it all fixed.
Well, that doesn't have to go out to,
And that's a 2016, correct?
no, that's a 2022.
Minus.
Yeah.
Oh, 21.
No, it's a 22 model.
You're right.
But
Basic common problem with those trucks. Supposedly.
it's a problem they had.
Yeah,
in
so
those-
what they do, they drill them out with bigger bolts in them, and that's what I did today.
Okay,
Instead of bringing it down and let them guys do it,
yeah,
I
It's not under warranty or anything.
It was, they would have done it.
Yeah, I asked, even though the bolt's not actually a wear and tear like the brakes themselves are, that's still not.
Yeah.
We have a drivetrain, transmission, engine, emissions, and the axles are still under warranty on that truck, but that's not covered.
So they're undersized bolts, what are they, 3/8?
No, they're 7/16 bolts.
They
They're
are-
9/16 bolts for them now.
Okay, great, all right.
We had to drill all the brackets and stuff to go through their bolts.
This is our first.
And the other truck did the same thing. But that had to go back to the dealer.
We're just thinking we'll get it out of the way in the right now.
This
So,
wasn't even a big snowstorm.
so despite the 2 trucks going down, we still did really well today. Actually, we were able to plow, get everything good for the morning commute, and then beat the buses around by the time the 2-hour delay was over, and give them some good passage too. So
Good.
Good job.
it worked out really well. And
Yeah.
yeah, my God, was that awful plowing.
40.
That's the new truck.
Oh, yeah.
Good. The new truck's good. The new truck is good. Had a couple little flaws, but we worked it out.
Did you come across the new bridge today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I did. On the
yeah,
farm?
I did. Andy did. It's a little hard coming from River Street onto that bridge.
With that nice gentle curve.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
If
better,
you want to dismount your tire, that's a good way to do it. But
it's better than it used to be.
yeah, yeah. That was going to be one of my good news things. Hey, the Thrall Road Bridge is open.
Sorry. What am I doing?
Watkins Hill Culvert Replacement Project is over. I got some pictures of
Oh, good.
Right.
that.
So that's
Anybody-
complete.
It is complete and it looks great. And, anybody who's interested is welcome to swipe one way or another, I think the other way. So,
Oh, I was doing.
all right, Phil Scott and Sons did that replacement. They also hammered out some ledge in the area for us,
Doesn't even look
So
like
we
Watkins Hill, it's so big.
right?
Yeah, we just signed the board orders to pay that.
Let's see.
They hammered out some ledge in the area too, so we can connect some ditches
Oh,
that
yeah,
we've never
good.
been able to connect before. They already had a jackhammer there because he had to use the hammer to put that new culvert in. It's considerably larger than.
I like the
two
stone
previous
line.
ones. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Nice job.
Absolutely
The
fantastic.
stone is good there.
Yeah.
It's so big, wow.
Water moving through it today. There's a lot of water moving through it. There's a lot of water moving through it during the replacement
What is that,
process. actually.
48 or
Just
56?
scroll up, okay, you can see all
What's
the
that?
pictures.
What size is that, 48 or 56?
It's 5 by 7 by 30. Yeah, that's a good size.
That's a big one.
Good size one. Josh Carvajal from Vermont Agency of Natural Resources actually came down the day that we were getting started on it 2 Tuesdays ago and said that was the most water he'd seen going through the area in all of his visits. So and that was before all this rainfall, but so
Well, that'll alleviate a lot of
problem.
problem,
Yeah.
especially with the stone ditch. That's nice.
And being able to connect
good
the rest
work.
of the ditch on both sides of that culvert to get good drainage for that whole area.
Yep.
Should help get rid of some of our icing problems through there.
Yeah,
So,
they used to be some major.
Good improvement.
yeah.
It's officially closed now, right?
What's that?
Watkins is officially.
Fingers.
That's
Yeah.
part of the open part. That's
Just
part
the
of what
first part,
Kevin
yeah.
plows.
Yeah.
But about 500 to 1,000 feet beyond that is where it's a class 4 no water maintenance portion.
Right. So,
Well, I know.
Yeah, this part's
It's not
open.
plowed.
The other part is
Going
this,
right
as soon
there.
as this got reopened to all traffic,
right.
we stopped maintaining the other part. We maintained the other part, we've had to plow and sand a couple times before now too. We did maintain the part that we wouldn't normally do by the door. Just in the event of an emergency, had to have some sort of way to get traffic in and out of there. So, it all worked out really, really well.
It looks good.
Good.
I feel like there was something else big I was going to say, negative, but I really didn't even get a chance to kind of scramble to get over here. But I don't have my note thing with me, so.
Probably the Straw Road Bridge.
Well, this and Thrall Road Bridge were the two big ones that I was going to tell everyone, but, yeah, so other than, hoping to hear a solid answer on doing 410s, I've got nothing else other than that. So anybody's got any questions, comments, or concerns for us?
Thanks for all you do.
Do you have any knowledge on that alternative to salt? It's called brine, I think it is.
Brian,
Liquid brine, yeah.
we would have to get more equipment.
More equipment.
You have to be able to mix the salt in the truck. Basically, there's a tank that goes along the side of the truck. None of our current setups are set for that.
I'm just, it's hard to me. I'm curious.
Yeah, I've done a little of my own research, actually, on a few different municipality and DPW pages,
Yep.
and some guys, I actually hear a more negative than I do
Really?
positive on it, to be completely honest with you. It still only works down to like the single digit temperatures, if I'm not mistaken. You really don't gain a whole heck of a lot, but your corrosion of your own equipment and any
It was.
passenger vehicles or anything else that goes through that area it's a little bit higher. I mean, you're doing liquid and salt. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the village has a pre-treated salt that has a tendency to stick more out of the road than this really would. This really splashes all over. You do have to apply it properly, otherwise you can actually make the roads worse than they already were.
I know when the kilns and the shovel and everything started to use it, we saw much more rust on those vehicles.
Yeah. So you remember that big tank that we have that sits in our chloride shed that says Magic -0?
Mm-hmm.
That was new to us. That came from Rutland City or West Rutland, and that used to be theirs, and they actually got away from that.
It did.
So I don't know the reasons on it, but just saying off of what I've read in our current setup versus what it would cost and what we would have to do to get to that point. I don't think we're there.
It just curious.
10-hour days, 4 10-hour days, we told you we'd get back to you in December on that. That should be discussed tonight. We discussed it earlier and a couple of the board members weren't here. And we actually said, continue your 10-hour days till we're all together and we can discuss it. Other towns do it. We've looked into other towns. It's pretty much a status quo as far as working, I think the 4 10-hour days would get more in the 10-hour day than you would. And if you needed overtime in our budget, we budget for overtime. If you needed to finish a project on Friday, you would finish it. But that's how do you feel about that?
I feel good about it. My job, I was in on all the emails back and forth when the survey went through, and there was a lot of discussion about it. I don't think it costs any more money. It gives a good benefit.
How do you feel about it,
I
Val?
agree with it. I agree with Alan. Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I think if Joel thinks that that's what the crew wants to do you're gonna be more productive and you think it's working, and I totally agree. Yeah, you know your crew, you know what needs to be done more than I know.
So Dickie, what do you think about it?
Me?
Yeah,
I like it a lot better.
you like it.
We're not rushed to get back, and it's just get more time to finish what you're doing.
How do you feel about it?
Good.
Do I hear a motion to change? We'll have to change it in our personnel handbook. We'll have to change it in our personnel handbook to change the working hours for the town of Poultney from from 5 8-hour days to 4 10-hour days. Do I hear a motion to change that?
Make a motion to change it.
You second? Any comments or questions by the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
This does mean we don't have to have this discussion again.
Motion carried.
Once it
All right.
changes.
So that's effective immediately.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Anything? Yes.
Does it need to be specified Monday through Thursday in the handbook,
Oh, that's a good point. Monday through Thursday.
unless there's other days that you guys would have your floor on? Just,
That's what we've done. I
That's what
think
we've done.
what
That's
we
been precedent.
just.
Well, yeah, we can, to your point, that would be good to put in the verbiage in the handbook.
If something happened, you said last time, if something happened, you need to do something on a Friday.
We're on call 24/7, so it doesn't matter what, when.
And we have it,
where.
it's just the overtime. We have the overtime enough.
I mean, like today's kind of a prime example. You know, we came in at, a couple of us came in at 4 to get the salt on the asphalt roads.
Roads look great at 6.
What's that?
Roads look great at 6.
Yeah.
I have a
Thank you.
hatchback.
Thank
It's
you.
fine.
Yeah, thank you. We had a good plan and it followed through well. So, so a couple of us came in at 4, the rest came in at 5. So that brought us down to only, that dropped an hour off of your early commute of the overtime, the starting point of the day. Best way to say this, but, more times than not, we're coming in at 4 to 5, whether there's a storm or we just have to stand, the following morning after a storm for buses or whatever. So, like the other towns said in the Vermont Local Roads Survey, it really balances out pretty well. So,
Yeah.
and if we find that it doesn't,
We'll see how it works.
Yeah. I know the guys will definitely appreciate it. So, thank you.
Summer solstice in 10 days. They used to start getting longer.
Yeah.
The 21st,
I'm excited.
minute every day.
There's a question.
Anytime. What's that?
There's a question related to this.
Oh, is there a question? Who has a question?
Can you specify?
Hi, it's Mary Sue Reed. I put something in the chat, but can you also specify that this is for the highway department and not for all of town employees?
No, I did say that for the town highway department. At least I thought I did.
Yeah, that's what's in the handbook.
Yeah, it would be in the handbook, Mary Sue. That's under the town highway department.
Right, yeah, but you did say just town of Poultney, so I just for clarification purposes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, that's year round. Yeah, that's just the highway department. Well, Mary Sue, that would be in the handbook in the personnel under the town highway crew. Okay. All right, anything else for Joel? Joel, do you have anything else?
Like I said, I can't do this together, so
You got a question, Dan?
Yep. Well, did you get the dump salt? I got a problem.
yes. Well, sometime this morning.
That's all that came up and wanted. So,
Good.
so no,
Good.
I didn't do the dirt. I just did the blacktop.
Check on
Good. You got anything?
We've gone pretty good.
Good. Good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, team. Joel.
Bo's doing a good job.
Good.
I'm clear, ain't
Okay, town managers report.
So, as part of our, Vermont Community Development Grant for the Young at Heart Senior Center Pavilion and Walking Track, to close out the grant, we have to have a final public hearing on it, and I noticed this hearing in the Rutland Herald has to be noticed 15 days before the hearings. It was put in the Rutland Herald on 21st of November, and it's to allow and obtain the views of the citizens on the community development, furnish information concerning the range of community development activities that have been undertaken under this program, and to give affected citizens the opportunity to examine the statement of use of these funds. In total, we received a grant award in the amount of $108,080. And as I stated, this is the opportunity if the public wants to make comments or ask questions about it. This is their opportunity in a more formal setting to do that. So I'll entertain any questions to the best of my ability or comments from the public. Anybody from the public?
My only comment is that the track area is starting to get some soft spots. Has that been resolved, Carol? I know you spoke to the person that built the.
Right. And the one person that was involved in building one aspect of it is blaming the company that built the actual structure because they moved it by X amount of feet because they hit ledge, or rock, or slate, or whatever.
This is the track itself.
That's correct. There are areas around some of the beams that go up that are sinkholes.
Yeah.
I would use as a description.
It's soft, spongy.
The poles to be in the pavilion poles?
Yeah, the pavilion pole. Like 2 of them,
Yes.
and there's 3 spots.
Should we have a contractor look at it just to see what it is?
She's tried, and Jeff, you were going to get involved because Carrie felt that by them speaking to a woman, they were like blowing her off.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you had any luck. We got you some phone numbers, I know.
Yep,
But I don't know if you've had any success.
I have not had success.
Yes.
It's nothing that's gonna fall down over winter or
no,
anything like that.
No.
It's just-
No.
But we will hit that again in the spring.
It is used. I mean, it's really cool
Yeah.
to see some of the people that attend lunch and then they go out and do 4 or 5 laps and stuff. I mean, it's good. We, it's we've talked about other things in our board meetings to maybe possibly next step, but that's neither here nor there. That has anything to do with the grant, so.
I heard of me.
Anybody else have anything on the grant for the track at Younger Heart?
So what does that mean, Paul? It just closes out then?
Yeah, it's just a requirement of the grant to have this meeting. So yeah, I've got to close it out by the end of this month.
Let me know if you need anything else.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next, Paul, no meeting Christmas Day?
I'm assuming we were not meeting on Christmas.
We don't want to meet?
Oh, really?
Um,
And New Year's.
I didn't know if we wanted to meet next Monday, the 18th, in lieu of Christmas.
I think we should meet on the 18th. How does the board feel?
Yeah, the budget meeting.
Budget will start again at 5 o'clock for budget meeting and go right to our meeting, our scheduled select board meeting. We're just moving from the 25th to the 18th. At 6:30, we'll start at 5 for the budget. Is that okay?
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that be an hour? Is that too much time? Do we have that much left?
Oh, if we do need that much time, do we?
Well, 5:30 instead of 5.
5:30.
Let's go 5:30. Arrange it.
Okay.
5:30, we'll start at 5:30. We could keep it under, no, let's keep it under 2 agendas.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've got on here the Poultney Rescue Squad asked for me to put them on the agenda, and I see Debbie Hoisington is on Zoom. So Debbie, if you want, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but didn't want a chance having drive back to Chittenden in the weather. So I just wanted to update you. Our calls, I have call volumes, which I will email you them to you, Mr. Donaldson, and you can share them with the board for the last 2 months. I apologize that I wasn't able to make last month's meeting as I had told you guys I would be there monthly. We had 42 total calls for the month of October, 28 transports, only 3 RMAs, which are we respond, but no, they refused medical attention. So that wasn't too bad. This month of November, we had 45 calls and 29 transports, only 2 RMAs. We did get canceled a couple different times. I will also email you a graph that our billing company sent to me, which will show you guys, and you'll have a better understanding that shows you our payer mix. And 57% of Poultney Rescue's payer mix is Medicare patients. 27% is Medicaid, 12% commercial, 3% is uninsured, and 1% is workman's comp. As far as employees, we're doing pretty well with them. We have a few that are coming and going because they're either working for regional or have gone to school, but we're trying to keep it covered as best we can. We will be putting a petition, getting signatures to be put on the ballot in March, which we're working on now to hopefully get the voters to understand, and we'll put some literature together with that when we ask for their signature to be put on the ballot this year. And that's all I got for you this time.
Debbie, would you be at the town meeting to explain to the town people to the increase to that and why the petition is there, please?
Oh, I definitely will be there.
Oh, good.
Definitely
Thank
will
you.
be there.
Thank you for that. Yeah, because
No.
a lot of people, they'll just be, their hair will be straight up in the air, but a good explanation would go a long ways.
And I'll have some very good information that my billing agency has helped me get together so that they can see what the reasoning is and where, because they see this and they say, well, I have insurance. Why is it not paying? And they'll see what their insurance is. As Jeff said to me, we can bill $1 million, but the fee schedule is the fee schedule, and that's what we get paid. So I will have that with me also at town meeting to show the people what we actually do get paid and where it comes from. So why we don't want to, but where we are at to request this help.
Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You too. Have a good night.
And have a nice holiday if I don't see any of you before then.
Yep. Good holidays. Have a good holidays.
Thank you.
Great. Transacting the lawful business. We're doing Rutland Regional Planning Commission.
So for the RRPC's agenda item tonight, I am going to hand the floor over to Nick Stark, who is on virtually. There's been a request for the town to use some photos that were developed through our original VORAC grant, the marketing grant. And Nick is going to tell us a little bit about that request and I think cover some information on the Vermont Trail. Nick, whenever you're ready.
Hi there. Yes, coming to you as the RRPC tonight. We are on the steering committee for a new project called the Vermont Trail. And it's basically a bit like the Long Trail, but for mountain biking. And I don't know if I can share my screen. I cannot, but
let me turn it on.
Oh, okay, super.
I think.
So we're currently in the process of. Thank you, Paul. We're currently in the process of developing a master plan for the project. And as you can see here, this is vermonttrail.org. I encourage everybody who's interested to go check it out. It's a very cool project. And you'll see that the scope of interest basically at this early stage does include Poultney. So this is, many years down the line, potentially a pretty big boon to our town's tourism and a recreational asset for the folks that live in the region as well. So as we're developing this plan, they requested that if anybody have any photos that they could potentially use, that they would provide them. and I think it was from a Vorek project. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, but we had a photographer come down and make a really nice video and take a lot of nice photos. His name is Bryce Sherbach, and I just wanted to check with the select board whether we could use those photos for the master plan, and it would, credit the. We could have it even credit the town, I think, but it would definitely credit the photographer.
Got no problem with that, you?
So is there any plans right now, and then maybe it's too early, Nick, but are there plans? I think I've heard some other towns, there are plans to put some sort of like huts and or sleeping structures along some of the network. Is that something that's way off in the distance? And is there any plan for Poultney per se right now at this time?
So it is still way off in the distance, but you can see on this map they have existing huts and conceptual huts, and there's none that are in the. I'm just reading it out as Poultney Met, but there's nothing in that region. I do know that on, and I'm extending a bit here, but I do know that there is a cabin that the Vermont Huts Association had looked at that's part of the Slate Valley Trails Network. So there is potential there, but that's definitely something we'll be looking at. I think it's also a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs to develop more lodging within our region, since we will have folks coming through this stretch looking for a place to crash.
So the board, Nick, has no problem with using the photos.
Super, thanks. And I'll be back probably with more updates and hopefully not too many more requests regarding this project. But if anybody has any questions or you can reach out to me, and if you want to find out any more about it, it's velmonttrail.org.
That's a big project.
Nick, I do have one question, because the assets from Borac, the photographs are, they kind of run the gamut on what was photographed in Poultney. And there's a lot of photos from Slate Valley Trails Networks and people riding. And then there's a lot of really place-based photos of Main Street, the GMC campus, actually Whaleback Vineyards and those types of things. So at this early stage, would it be useful for what you need to just send the photos of the mountain biking scenes rather than the ones that are specific to Poultney?
It might be, but I'd posit that, we could potentially get a bit more brand cachet out of this if they do choose to use some random photos of our town, as an exemplar of the kind of beautiful small towns that this trail will be passing through, and the downtowns that will benefit from this. So I could definitely limit it if to just the mountain biking photos if you all deem that your desire. But I would say, the more we can get Poultney out there in every facet, the better.
My only concern is that the master planning effort is ahead of permitting, any required permitting that would come from Vermont. So if you have a place-based photo, it sort of lends credence to the idea that this is what's going to happen in this particular community. And I think if at this early stage of planning, that it may not be the best course of action to link it to a specific location.
Sure. I think that the plan will be very upfront about what stage it's at and what permits have been, given and that sort of thing. So I don't think there'll be, if you think that I have no problem pulling back on that, but I know that they are treading extremely lightly in terms of, a lot of the wording and that sort of thing, in respect to how they're presenting the project.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Nick.
Great. Thank you all.
All right. Okay, before we go into public comments and concerns, Aaron, you're sitting back there.
Love you, lady.
This report for activity for us the last 2 months since I haven't been around as much as I'd like to be. October was a little slow with 10 calls. November picked back up to about 15. There's 1 and 2. Both are October was fire prevention month. The fire prevention week was in that. We were down at the elementary school and got to go through all the grade levels. October was 19th. Had our annual get together with them, talking fire safety and such. The following week, Assistant Chief Jones was up at the high school for a career cafe type setup. They had a whole bunch of people come in, different careers, show what's out there. I believe Rutland City Fire Chief William Levitt was supposed to be there, but ended up having to cancel. We were asked to be there as well. Well, we're not career guys. It's pretty much just a full-time-ish volunteer job for me. But as some of you know, as well as I'm a sheriff in it anyway. So William Jones was there to show, to explain to the young children or young people up there that they could come work with us, volunteer, and do as, unfortunately, former Assistant Chief Nate Bourne did, take a career job in Rutland City. So he is no longer able to volunteer with us. He has moved on to a professional career in that. We're excited.
Not Rutland City.
Rutland City.
Nate was Rutland City?
Yeah,
Oh.
we went to Rutland City.
I'm saying the other guy.
St. Johnsbury.
Yeah.
They're both on our only fires naughty list. We don't like either St. Johnsbury or Rutland City.
Good guys.
St. Johnsbury actually almost had Nate Bourne as well, so we would have lost 3 to them, but he did get an offer at Rutland City, couldn't pass up. So, what's that?
Don't like Myrtle Beach either.
There's a lot more to that one. But yeah, no, Scott Williams in Myrtle Beach as well. So we did very well over the last. So Nate would have had. He was just 6 months shy of 15 years volunteering here in town. And as of last Tuesday night at our monthly meeting, we did vote to make him an honorable life member of the Poultney Fire Department because he was only 6 months shy of 15 years is where we say you're a life member of the department. And then this month we had set up the same day we came out here with you guys to help with the lights on the front Christmas tree with Ron. Ron Kelly. We had a homeschool group come in. There was 20 kids that came into the firehouse from the general area that are homeschooled. We talked fire safety with them. We had an appointment with Lehigh as well the same day, but they ended up having to cancel due to some illnesses. So we rescheduled that one for the spring. We were talking earlier in the other meeting of truck replacement stuff. The new truck that is on order is very, very close to being completed. So close, in fact, that Assistant Chief Jones leaves this coming Sunday, go out there for a day and a half to inspect it and see how close, to make sure everything is as it is supposed to be according to the paperwork before it starts coming our way. So I expect with the holidays, unfortunately, I've been telling everybody it was looking like it was early December, but until everybody wants to get to Thanksgiving, everything kind of slows right down to up here. So I'm hopefully expecting it to be out our way out to the dealership by January timeline, and then hopefully see it come into service late January, early February. So pretty exciting for us, but
that's a quick turnaround, so to speak.
So to speak. Timelines on delivered apparatus are still stretching right as the plan shows. Where some of those trucks we're talking 2 years before delivery when we do order them. Timelines have not shortened up at all on that stuff. The only thing that's shortened up is the process, which we did was find a demo piece that we were able to make work for us. So that's all I have for you.
Okay, good. Anybody have questions for you?
So it says this is October, it says tree and roadway in Hampton. Why do we go there?
So that, I remember that day they missed their mutual aid point. So our dispatches whoever, fire department, if they don't answer with an officer or an apparatus within 5 minutes,
they'll retone that home department and the next closest mutual aid partner to cover that call. They must not have had guys in time that day. So they, at the 5-minute mark, hit us. We went out there and checked it out. Fairhaven, we do run daytime automatic with them because their daytime manpower is so low. We run automatic with them from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So that's where, when you look at a lot of the mutual,
That's automatic mutual aid.
there's a lot of it's a mutual, an automatic call for them. But the other ones, Hampton, them are usually special calls.
Good. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Aaron. On to public comments and concerns. Yeah.
To answer your question, approximately 0630, truck number 6 went up through the dump, the plow went down, saw through the broke open. I was gonna stop later, but the gate was no longer jumping right, and I hit someplace else that was pretty pressing, so.
I did. Okay, we're into public comments and concerns.
Hi, Mary Sue Reed here. Since Dan Williams is there, can he let folks know what the transfer station schedule would be around Christmas time and possibly New Year's too?
Nothing's going to change. We're going to run this just the way it is. We're not taking any days off. We're going to work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Day after Christmas, Thursday, Saturday, day after New Year's. Nothing's changed.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Mary Sue, you got anything else?
Nope, I'm all set, Jeff. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else? Public comments and concerns? All right. Do I hear a motion to sign board orders? We're fitting that. Any comments or questions by the board? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. We need to go into executive session?
No.
So, here it is. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
The motion to adjourn. I'll second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Thank you.
We're out of here.